Hello, my name is Richard Hake, and I'm a candidate for Congress for District 2 of Oregon. And I'm coming to you today to let you know that the reason I'm running is our nation is in a mess. Just like Ron Paul says it's in a mess, he's right. And it should be obvious for anyone to see. We have four major problems. We have the war, we have inflation, we have a national debt that's going crazy, and we also have the severe erosion of our rights. And I would like to talk about these things just for a minute. The war, for example. Congress is supposed to be the one that mandates or declares war, not the President. There is a stipulation to the War Powers Act that he's permitted to put military troops on foreign soil, but within 48 hours he has to notify Congress that he has done that. Then there's a limitation of no more than 60 days. Well, no president has followed this since Ronald Reagan. They've abused this act, and Congress is not saying anything about it. In fact, they tend to vote every little way the president says to go on this. In the meantime, we're spending a horrendous amount of money on it. We're losing our nation's best resources, our young people, through death, through injury. Families are being ripped and torn. It's just horrible, and it needs to come home. The armed forces need to be withdrawn. And I'm not talking about right now, this minute, but an orderly withdrawal within a reasonable amount of time that's safe for everybody. The other thing is inflation. Inflation has just gone crazy. Your dollar bill in your pocket's not worth nothing much more than fire tender. And it's not getting any better. The government's answer to this is print more money. And so I saw a statistic one time, it cost $254 to have the Federal Reserve print another $1 million. In the meantime, it just keeps diluting your purchasing power. And that's the reason our economy is going right down the tubes. The other thing is the national debt is going crazy. We need to get a handle on these things. Our national debt was basically paid off up through, I believe it was the start of Reagan's administration or into it. It was as low as it's ever been, and now it's crawled right back up there. And with the war, and every time we need money, we're even borrowing it from China. That's a travesty. We shouldn't be doing that. The erosion of rights is, I don't need to tell you. The Patriot Act has changed a lot of things. They took habeas corpus. They took a lot of different rights that you and I count on as being free Americans. Well, we're not that free anymore, and it's getting worse. FISA has allowed people or all the telephone lines to be listened into, emails. You have no privacy. It's gone. And these things, we're told, are necessary because of 9/11. Well, I don't believe that. I believe that we were a safe and secure country when Japan hit us, and we recovered from that, and I think we'll recover from this okay. But anyway, the whole thing boils down to a supreme neglect of the powers of Congress. They're the ones that should cut the funding. They're the ones that should have declared war. They're the ones that can set the money standard, and they can do it, but they have been neglecting this thing. The lessons we've learned to this point is, in time, is more taxes don't cure anything. They just make the problem worse. And also more spending just creates more taxes. So we have to start living within a balanced budget in this country. Same way we do it at home. If you have something at home that you want, you don't bounce a check for it. You eliminate something else on the budget, or you do without it. And that's the way the government needs to learn to do. We just can't keep doing everything for everybody. For one thing, it's wrong for me to take your money and give it to someone who hasn't earned it or doesn't have the right to that money. It's not my money, and that's the way we should look at it. There are needs, and they're specified in the Constitution, and those things are the things that we should pay for without adding any more taxes. Solutions for these problems are real simple. We just need to, as citizens, demand constitutional compliance. And we need to demand those hard and not give up on them. We need to be the squeaky wheel and drive our congressmen nuts until they start doing things right. Vote them out if they're not doing things right. And you got a good opportunity coming up here shortly. We need to repeal the acts that stripped away our rights, repeal the FISA, repeal the Patriot Act, and get our country back on a track of freedom and have it known. No new taxes. We need to rearrange what we have. If we bring our troops home, we'll have an automatic increase of half, at least, of that money that they're spending over there, which is right now right close to $500 billion. We're sitting at 598 or something like that billion, and it's rising. And so that would help our economy a lot. We need to sever our relationship with the Federal Reserve System. There is nothing in the Constitution about a federal bank for our country. That needs to go. Those people are controlling way too much of what we do, and we need to get out of that system. We need to return our money to a gold and silver standard, to where our dollar has true value and inflation is kept under control. And so these are a few of the things we can do. There's a lot of work to be done in other areas, but I would just like to put these forth, and with one last admonition. Don't vote for anybody that's in office right now in Oregon. They've all added to the problem. They're all responsible for violating their oath, and they're all responsible for keeping us in that war. They're all responsible for the approving the tax bills and the bills that go into keeping our inflation high, and they just need to go. Now, I'm speaking to Oregon. If you're lucky enough to have Ron Paul in your district, don't vote him out. He's one of the good guys. And it could be that you live in an area where you do have another Ron Paul type. Well, don't vote them out. We need every one of them that we can get in office. And so that's what I would leave you with. My name is Rick Hake. You can learn more about me at www.rickhake.com and on the internet. And I hope I get your vote in 2008. Thank you.